All right, it is time. It's the Infinite Investment Game. I talk about alternative investments and collectibles. This is not particularly investment advice, but hopefully this will be helpful as far as your journey in getting into collectibles for whatever reason you want to. And today I want to talk about WWE cards and what could be interesting cards to buy. I am a huge WWE fan growing up, and I have gotten into collecting cards for WWE, and I've learned a little bit about the market. Please, before we start, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with as many people as possible. Now I'm trying to grow the channel and hopefully produce more and more content and better content. And my goal is to produce it every single day. All right, so there are a lot of people who are pushing WWE because there are some people who are trying to manipulate the market because it's a small pop count. And cards will have smaller pop counts. It's easier to manipulate the market. Unfortunately, WWE did already have a big rise in card prices. There are some TNA cards and AEW. These are other brands, but WWE is the main brand. AEW has a real shot. Those cards I don't think are going to be worth much of anything. AEW may have a real chance, but it's really speculative. WWE is the established brand. Vince McMahon has ran a very successful company for decades now and produced the best wrestlers and most popular wrestlers ever. One of the first ones I want to talk about is 1974. It's a Japanese card, so it's Yamakatsu, New Japan. There are multiple versions of these cards. One of them is number 25. This card, very low grades you're going to find. One of the highest grades I think you're going to find is a PSA 7. Last time I saw it sold for $2,500, but it's probably cheaper now. Is a huge wrestler, literally and figuratively, who wrestled back in the 70s and 80s. The big one is known for wrestling Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3, where Hulk Hogan picked him up. He was like 500 pounds, picked him up, or over 500 pounds, and slammed him. Before that, I mean, he never really lost. But yeah, very good card to buy. Andre John is legendary, and I think he'll be legendary for years to come. Hulk Hogan. Everybody pretty much knows Hulk Hogan. He's pretty much synonymous with wrestling. Unfortunately, there's a lot of controversy with him. I'll mention it really quickly. Basically, his daughter, some controversy with his reality TV show, Hogan Knows Best, where basically his wife ended the relationship with him and started dating a guy in his 20s, I guess. And I believe it was his daughter's former boyfriend, I believe, which is weird enough. But basically, Hulk Hogan unfortunately slept with, friend's wife and recorded it, but also in this recording as well, not only has a recording of him cheating on his wife, but his daughter was dating a African-American rapper, and he disapproved. Not really because he was a rapper, but really because he was African-American. And admitted that he was basically racist and he didn't like African Americans. When that came out, he later apologized and things such as that. WWE kicked him out of Hall of Fame, and a lot of people didn't want anything to do with him. But he's since redeemed himself after apologizing and things such as that. So there's been some controversy, but I mean, Hulk Hogan's kind of synonymous with WWE wrestling. 1982 All-Stars Series A for Hulk Hogan. I think it was number 2. A lot of people say Jimmy Superfly snuck him in the All-Stars 1993 All-Stars card. I know of him, I don't think he was really that big, and I think he was people overhype really what he meant to the company, I guess. He is legendary, but he's overhyped, I think. Randy Macho Man Savage, 1985 O-Pee-Chee, number 11. A lot of people hype up his cards, really because Gary Vee hypes up his cards, because when he was a wrestling fan, Macho Man and Randy Savage was the biggest heel and kind of like the big heel of Hulk Hogan. PSA 9 sold for $4,000, but I think they're way cheaper now. I want to say it's in hundreds of dollars for a PSA 9 now. So not many graded. He's really big, especially for Gen X. cultural phenomenon, Slim Jims, movies. I think they probably even still have certain things in the culture as far as commercials and things such as that. Next, Roddy Piper. I know Ronda Rousey really liked Roddy Piper, and there are a lot of people who did. I'm not that huge on him. He passed away not too long ago. But he is a legendary wrestler, 1985 Tops Pro Wrestling. Roddy Piper is an interesting one. The one I do like, 1987 O-Pee-Chee WWF Wrestling. You know, WWF used to be the main brand, but then they got sued by this environmental company and they had to change to WWE. But Bret Van Hitman Hart, 1987 O-Pee-Chee, PSA 9s. You know, it could go for $1,000, but I think they're cheaper now. The other one, big time legend, Sting, mostly known in WCW. Then went to TNA for a long time, and then went to WWE. And I think he took a little stint in AEW. So Sting is 1988 Wonderama, new NWA Superstars. He's doing the sharpshooter on a guy. You know, very rare. PSA 10s, I think, go for about $3,000, but it's probably cheaper now. They're just hard to find. I actually tried to get a 9, things like that. The next was Ultimate Warrior, 1990 Classic WWF. He's very controversial. He kind of self-destructed. A lot of wrestlers did. PSA 10 apparently is around $3,000, but it's probably cheaper now. Here's a wrestler I do like, and I think is not as controversial. The Undertaker, 1991 Classic WWF Superstars. PSA 9 goes around $800. It's probably cheaper than that now. I mean, if you can get a 10, get a 10. I believe they're 10s in the Pop Report. But that's one I'll probably get. You know, long career, over 30 years in the business. And really, for him, is longevity. I don't think he was bigger than The Rock or Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin when he was wrestling. Or even, I would say, Brock Lesnar or Goldberg or John Cena. It's just that he's just been in the business so long. And he's been a superstar and one of the main guys for so long. But he's more almost like a Kareem in a sense in the wrestling world. Then you got Stone Cold Steve Austin, 1991 Chromie WCW Luchadores. This is like his first ever card when no one really cared. He was kind of like a mid-card kind of guy. And then he kind of grew in ECW, and then he came to WWF, which is WWE now. Interesting card. I wouldn't personally get it, but I think it's an interesting card to get. The one I have, though, is the Rock 1997 Cardinal WWF Trivia Series. I have that card. I really like the card. I have a BGS 9.5. I could have got more BGS 9.5s, but I'm looking for a PSA 10. Other cards, 1982 Wrestling All-Star Series A Ric Flair. I used to think Ric Flair was just like, oh, some old dude, maybe wrestled back in the day, but he wasn't that big a deal. But actually he was. And he's been in some hip-hop videos. He's from New Orleans. He really loves basketball. He's kind of like morphed into the culture in a sense, where he's still kind of big amongst millennials as well. And I think he's still very respected. Funny enough, I could have got a PSA 10 autographed as well. PSA 10 with an authentic autograph for about $300. But, you know, I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't buy it. So it was 3 years ago. So, you know, there's that. 1998 WWF Wrestling Superstars autograph Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I used to see these. They were like $10,000 for a PSA 8 or something. Maybe a 10 can run you like 10,000 or something like that, but with the autograph. But there's only like 50 of these copies graded. There's a bunch of these boxes laying around somewhere. So the pop count could go up, but yeah, The Rock can't go wrong. 98 for his card. You know, 1997 Cardinal WWF Trivia Series. Steve Austin. PSA 10 is probably about $1,000 now. Funny is 9.5 used to be like 2,000 or something like that. Steve Austin and The Rock both were the two biggest superstars in the Attitude Era, and they had a little shorter careers. One because Steve Austin retired and The Rock went to do movies. But Steve Austin's done movies and also has a really nice podcast. Is gaining popularity. So I would put my money in those guys personally as a collectible. I don't know about an investment. I think it's risky. The Rock is probably less risky if you want to get into pop culture kind of celebrity type stuff and you think that's going to be a thing. It could be. Roman Reigns 2014 Topps Chrome Super Refractor 101 is an interesting card. I guess sold at 15K in February, but you know, he still has a ways to go, but I think he will. The other one is Charlotte's Flair, you know, 2022 Color Blast would be very interesting to get. I'll wait for her stuff to go down, but she's Ric Flair's daughter. I think she's gonna carve off a amazing career, and it'd be nice for a collection, you know, mother, father, daughter in a sense. And in 1985, Topps WWF Hulk Hogan, PSA, hopefully 10 if you can get it. I think that's a good card to get. And then, you know, that's about it. Maybe Trish Stratus 2001 Fleer WWF, the Ultimate Diva Collection signed. And notice I'm doing older wrestlers, right? Trish Stratus is a legend, probably the biggest diva they've ever had in WWF. Not only because she was like a model, but she turned into a wrestler and turned into a great wrestler and very entertaining to watch. I think her top cards are like $400. And then Triple H 2002 Fleer WWF All Access off the mat autographs is an interesting card to look at too. There's other sets, but I think those are really the best cards to, in my personal opinion. You know, 1982 All-Stars for Andre the Giant is an interesting card. But yeah, I would stay away from the current wrestlers because like there's all kind of stuff that can happen and all kind of new things. CM Punk 2004 TNA Pacific CM Punk rookie. I wouldn't say it's a rookie card, but red full BGS 9.5. I believe one sold for $2,000. It should be less. It's coming soon. I think these are guys that you could think about picking up, or how you would invest or collect these cards, or if there's anyone I miss. So yeah, if you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and thanks.